Like, how are these recorded?
Yes.
Can like people see them?
Yes, we put them on YouTube.
They're posted.
Does anybody watch them?
Probably
No.
not.
Okay. I was gonna say you can't even read my name tag from that distance. It's probably fine.
Oh, the videos? Does anyone watch the videos?
You do probably.
Me.
Hey, can you read my name tag from that distance?
No, there's like not a chance.
I don't know. It's the audio. Usually you only really get the audio from the Zoom. Like I pop in usually for the bills that I want to hear on the weekend on Tuesday evenings at home. Thank you to the American Red Cross Club because I was hungry. They had chicken tenders. It's huge for the program.
The chicken tenders are really good. They're crucial part. Oh, this is now being recorded. We're not doing it.
Honestly, I want everyone to know
I thought it was
that I would not be able to pass my classes if it wasn't for the sub shop.
Some shop, really?
Yeah,
Sub shop.
That's your go-to.
that is the go-to.
What
I want you
Do you know when Logo's conference?
Yes, guys.
What major are you?
That's a hard one. Yeah, it actually is a lot more.
You know, I'm
It's a
gonna
lot
go watch
easier
my
for
breaks
me
in
as an
Oakland.
engineer. I wasn't sure if I would major.
Guys, I feel
I made the mistake.
at least 9 years.
Yeah, I don't play
Nobody
it.
knows how it knows like somebody at least that knows her.
I know I saw a mistake, but
I assume that knows her.
Matt and
This guy's playing with this, and I'm at 80 kind
Yeah.
of.
You'll be out of the room.
Exactly.
well, I don't know.
All right.
Not like Ashley, because like.
I'm timing you. I'm timing you.
Okay.
I literally did 2,000 flashcards for like 4 weeks. So
That's actually.
I didn't always like bring my
That's actually pretty dope though, like.
Yeah, well, it's already.
I don't know how. I got the information. I didn't actually see the design. I just saw that.
We are one shot. Wait, 11. No, where exactly? Where are all people?
I think we should play the entire song. Except for this.
You guys should- I was gonna say we should have like an intro, we should put that together, YouTube, like. I don't know, we get really quiet when I did that. I guess keep talking and let them know. Music.
I'll be honest, I don't know what you were trying to model, but I agree with it in spirit.
Oh.
Like I've seen her once. Tight. Okay. Okay. Who was it?
No.
We're at 12. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Wait, because I don't know.
There's some online.
That's Taylor. Taylor's coming back, so that's 13. How many people do we have excused?
2.
Are we not?
We have quorum,
Oh, okay.
just barely.
Yeah, one, yeah, we have, I think.
What? Oh, it's supposed to go on the agenda.
So it's going into this.
Just if it's not this meeting, it's fine. Just hello, hello. We're gonna start here about 5 minutes. For this concert.
Sounds good.
We now have a provost option.
Hi, Amy.
Hi, great to see you.
You too.
Barely, but we can.
Did you have a water call me this one?
I'm waiting till 5 after.
Okay. Why's it been so quiet?
I don't know, why is everyone so quiet?
I'm tired. That's
Have
real.
some life, have some
Long
whimsy.
day.
It's only been a month into school.
Don't remind me, it's going by so quickly.
Caleb back. Carolina.
I don't know. No, why can't we just prioritize his health?
I mean, I'm okay with it. I don't know.
It sounds like you mind him being sick. Marcus, why he catch a cold? Marcus, this is very inconvenient.
I've been sick the past month. This is the first day I've been medicated in a month. Like, leave me alone.
They should be good to go for printing. How do you want me to set that up?
Do you need to print it like through OE printing or just like?
Yeah.
I can do the purchase request form, just I need to invoice.
Okay, do you want me, can I just, do you want me to just send the templates to you?
Yeah, that's fine, yeah. Cause I just need an invoice, I can put in the purchase request though.
Thank you.
Kayla, remind me one more time, it was Bridge Recovery Color Walk that you needed up there?
Yes.
Okay. You know, we're just gonna get started in a couple minutes, letting everybody flow in. There we go.
Is it too late? No, probably not. Probably not.
What do you need changed?
I just need it updated, so CR 6818 is just read only, not voting.
Oh, you can just specify that when you go up. You don't, it doesn't, you don't need to go through a procedural thing or anything. Just say that, like, I don't want to vote on this today.
The Michael's one?
Just say I don't want it to be voted on today.
Okay.
And then I could just like entertain a motion, to postpone.
Alright, smart.
soon as Mia's back up there, we'll start. Yeah. 11:30 to 1:30 on the October 24th. Pray the mics don't ring all over again. I'll just not.
All right, everybody, we're going to start this meeting at 5:34 p.m. First on the agenda, we'll enter a roll call. When you hear your name, please say if you're present or present voting. Majority Leader Brummer.
President voting.
Chairperson Fayette.
Present voting.
Chairperson Valdez.
Present.
Chairperson Waters.
Present voting.
Parliamentarian Bella.
Excused.
I'm present online.
Legislator Black.
Present and voting.
Legislator Jeswicki.
President.
Legislator Gazai. Legislator Lunger.
Present.
Legislator Maku. Legislator Markowitz.
Present.
Legislator Martino.
Excused.
Legislator Mace. Legislator Mason. So you're present in the chat. Legislator Obra.
Present.
Legislator Prishindara.
Present.
Legislator Rosario.
Present and voting.
Legislator Sturbu.
Present.
Legislator Schnell.
President voting.
Legislator Wiegand.
Present.
And Legislator Wolf.
Present.
With that, we hit quorum. Next up on the agenda, we enter a land acknowledgement. Microphone, not working. Further, we recognize the wrongs done to those
Forcibly removed from their homelands and commit to fostering an environment of inclusion that is responsive to the needs of First Peoples through our words, policies, and actions. Next, we'll enter the approval of the agenda. Are there any amendments to the agenda at this time? Seeing none, we'll enter a voice vote. Are there any nays at this time? Any yays?
Yay.
All right, with that, the agenda has been approved. All right, next on the agenda, we have our guest speaker, Amy Thompson, Executive Vice President of Academic Affairs and Provost, is presented by Vice President Matthews. Vice President Matthews, you have the floor.
Thank you, Speaker Moore. I would like to introduce to you our wonderful new provost, Amy Thompson. I have had the pleasure of having several meetings with her, and she is an amazing advocate for students, but I'll let her do the talking.
Thank you so much, Naya. It's great to be here with all of you. I've been on campus about 5 months. If you didn't know, I joined back. There we go. Thank you.
Yeah.
I joined on March 31st, and so I am thrilled to be here. And really, my job is to serve all of you. And as you get to know me, you will learn very quickly that I have a students first, students always attitude and how I make decisions. And so I wanted to just come tonight and talk a little bit about some of the things that we're working on out of my office. And I'm happy to take questions, and I'd love to hear about things that you're interested in as well, or if you want to bring them up to me. But let me just kind of share a little bit about what we've been doing. So since my arrival, I've been meeting with Marcus and Nia on a regular basis. They do an excellent job representing all of you and bringing concerns forward. So please know that they advocate for you in an amazing way. Also, one of the things that is important to me is that I am in touch with students. And if you follow me or have seen my LinkedIn, you know that I'm a provost that doesn't stay in my office. Actually, I'm out and about on campus, and it's very important to me that I'm accessible to all of you. And as part of that, one of the things that I'm going to be doing in partnership with Marcus and Nia is to establish a provost leadership council. And they're going to actually be asking many of you and individuals across campus to sit on this very important advisory group where we'll meet on a monthly basis and talk about what are the pressing concerns, what things do you want me to know, how can we problem solve together, and also we'll do some fun social activities together. So that's something that I've asked both of them to help me with, because I want the group to be very representative. So I want, for example, there to be, you know, freshman students and graduate students, commuter students, veteran students, students that might have accessibility issues, so that I really can get a sense of what, you know, what the student experience is like here at Oakland University. So I'm very excited to roll that out. Another initiative that I have been working on, and again, this is directly in partnership with your leadership, is midterm grades. When you were in high school, I bet many of you had midterm grades before, right? So you're very used to that. So when I arrived here at Oakland, I noticed that there was no formal way of submitting midterm grades for students. And I will tell you, I've been at 2 other universities, the University of Toledo, Wright State University, where most recently I required midterm grades for students. And through our work there, we were able to actually help our students' grades improve, to retain them, and it's a best practice. So one of the things that we're doing, and I asked faculty to do this, and I actually, when I interviewed, Marcus reminded me, I talked about this as something that I wanted to do here, is I'm asking all faculty to submit midterm grades, and this is optionally right now, and we're going to collect data to see, you know, how this is impacting our students. And I want to be clear about something. This isn't just giving a grade. If some students get, you know, below a C- or below, there's a whole outreach program that we've developed with our advising team to help connect students to tutoring, to their faculty, to really make sure that they, you know, have all the resources and help that they need. And so one of the things that we're going to be doing is putting out an email to students very shortly that tells students about midterm grades, how you can access them. I'm hoping, my goal is that we get at least 40% of our faculty to participate this first semester while it's a pilot, and that we can collect data to show, okay, let's say, Marion, not that you would do this, but let's say you got a C on your midterm. As a result of the feedback, and we look towards your grade at the end of the semester, what happened? Did you do better? Did you do worse? What does that look like? Because we want to show and collect data that it's actually a helpful best practice. I remember what it's like a really long time ago, of course, being a student and not having any grades by midterm. You have no idea sometimes how you're doing, or you may not realize how to calculate what your midterm grade might be. I know sometimes things are weighted differently and things like that. The other thing this does is it really, I think, encourages faculty to have things due sooner in the semester so that you have an idea where you're standing by the withdrawal deadline, for example, so that you know if you need to pull out of a course. Is that a question, or
Oh, no,
you're just waving? Okay, that's good, I'm glad. So I want you to know, I think this is incredibly important. And I hope that our faculty, you know, support this, embrace it. And this is something that we can really ramp up where we get to a point where all faculty are hopefully submitting these for students. So I'm really excited about that initiative. The other thing that we're going to be doing as this pertains to you, is we're starting to really look at the classes that students are not doing well in. And we have a whole list of classes that we see what we call a DFWI rate, where students are getting a DFW or an incomplete. And the metric we use are those classes that are 30% and above. So we're starting to really work with faculty and helping them think about how they might design their courses differently, how we can actually, help our students be successful. I will share with you, all of you sitting in this room lived through the COVID epidemic, right? So you know how difficult it was going through school, where there's, your instruction might have been different during COVID. Maybe students didn't do as well through COVID. So right now, the students that are testing in math and writing have some of the lowest rates that we've seen in over 12 years. And so my job as provost is your success. How do I help you be successful from the minute you come onto campus until my best day, I have to tell you, is graduation day. That's the day that I'm the most happy, is when we can graduate you. So we're really starting to look at the difficult classes and how we can support students. The other thing I just want to say is I am, excited to come to these meetings and hear about what your experiences are. We recently are reorganizing our advising, where it's a centralized advising to kind of make sure that all the advisors are on the same page, that they're giving communications that are similar. And so that's another strategy that we're really trying to double down on our advising, so that that's something that we improve and make sure meets the needs of the students. So those are just some things that we're working on in our office. I would love to hear questions from some of you or things that are on your mind as I'm here this evening. Yeah.
I was curious of what are some of the DFI or DFW you said?
Yeah.
What are some example courses?
Yeah, so it wouldn't be surprising to you probably that math is one of the courses. We have some writing issues, students in the writing courses. There's some courses that are in biology, chemistry, psychology that tend to have those. And I just want to say, this is not just an OU problem. That's an issue that we see at many institutions, right? Those are often some of the classes that students struggle a little bit more with. So I don't want by any means to, make it seem like this is just our faculty. This is at universities everywhere, and faculty often struggle, how that, they're looking at course redesign and how to really help structure classes sometimes to make sure that our students are the ones that are struggling, that they have the resources to make it through successfully. So this is a university-wide problem for many institutions. Did that answer your question? Yeah, sure. Hi.
Hello. Do I need the mic? I guess for those on Zoom, hello. Small point, you mentioned that an email about the midterm grade policy would be coming out soon.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, I have it open right now. It released at 4:30.
Oh, good.
And
Good.
it's very informative. It gives you just a rough overview of what the policy is like. And I just wanted to say thank you for implementing this. As someone who last year, and I assume from this point onward, as a humanities major, takes a lot of courses that don't assign a whole lot, I did feel kind of in the woods last year as far as knowing what my grade even was around this time of year. So I do think this is going to help a lot of students, and I thank you for implementing it.
Well, thank you. And I just want to say that me doing this was directly related to your advocacy. As you know, you guys passed a resolution in support of this. And so that was really important to me. And I want you to know that I'm here to work for you, work with you. And when you bring things to us, that we listen to you from an administrative standpoint. So, hi.
Let's better still.
Hello, my name is Shayla. One thing that me and Marcus were talking a bit about was getting more of our cultural classes, such as Afro-American Studies, Middle Eastern Studies, taught by faculty that align with those cultures. So in order to give students a more holistic view, both of us feel that I was talking with Marcus about it, it's just something I'm really passionate about, so that way students can get someone who has both lived experience and academic experience. Would that be something you're interested in exploring?
So, yeah, I'm certainly open to conversations around that. Obviously, I'll just be direct, we are working under a very interesting landscape right now with, with the executive orders and what we can and cannot do. So, whether that affects our hiring practices, our scholarshiping practices, a lot of the things have changed under that landscape. So, I certainly understand what you're saying. I think it's important that we have a variety of faculty teaching across campus. I think we learn more from that diversity. I think it enriches the experience that we have on campus. And while I think that you can't specifically have a hire in a position like that, I think it's important to look across the landscape and how we are being open and inclusive, and that we're really looking at, varieties of different individuals teaching across our university. Yeah, sure.
Senator Wolf.
Back to the midterm grading policy, would you know how up to date the information on the employee resource network is? Because there's on the employee resource network, there's a linked Google document for midterm grading FAQs. Would you know if that's up to date right now?
The one that's on the website?
Yeah.
It should be.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Is that helpful or?
Yeah, I was just wondering because like I always think a lot about like advocacy and like communicating things to the public, and this is definitely something we could help communicate to students and staff where they can look for information on this.
And Marcus, and I thank you for saying that, Marcus and I actually talked about this, that, for many students, unless they're reading their email, right, which how many times do we have to hear something before we pay attention, to be honest, right, is that, we're gonna send an email. I know that student government wants to be very involved with how we're, getting this information out. Marcus talked about, maybe doing a TikTok video and, other social media ways that you might, help post and get the word out to students so that they know, that they could be talking to their faculty members if they're going to be giving midterm grades or not. And then where do you go and look for these to make sure that you know where the midterm grade is? So that's a great question.
Legislator Markowitz.
Hello. Thank you so much for being here. I'm over on this side. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
So this is a little bit of a intentional question, but so we got to meet a couple of months ago, and you gave me an assignment to come up with the best teaching practices according to a student. So I just submitted to the Center for Excellence in Teaching and Learning my first rough draft. So that will be to you shortly. But for other people in Student Congress, are there any areas of need or areas of interest that you think that we as Student Congress legislators could take a more direct approach in supporting you with?
Thank you so much for asking that, and I enjoyed meeting you earlier, and I'm very open to having that conversation, as well as I know Marion is very passionate about inclusive access, which I'm actually interested in as well. So let me just tell you that one of the things that I give a lot of thought about is when you go to a university, it's not just going to class, it's about the student experience. And what does that look like on campus? And how I know we have Jean Ann that does a fantastic job with programming on campus, and we're very fortunate to have her. But as we think together, what does that student experience look like? Your thoughts could really help us as we think about making things better. Like I was in a conversation earlier today, and we were talking about the food on campus, for example. I mean, those are big issues, right? What is the parking like? What's it like from a day-to-day student perspective? And I'm always interested in how do we get better? How do we listen, right? How do we listen to really listen and find out, where are the rocks? Where are the obstacles? What are the things that we can do better so that our students feel included here, that they belong, and that their experience is improved. So that's something I think that's really why I want to have the new advisory group coming together. What's what's it like to park here at, 10 o'clock in the morning? I have my own parking spot, but you don't, right? So what is that like, right? I think there's so many things that we can learn from you, right? This university exists because of you, right? All of us are here because of our students. And so to me, that's why this is so important for me to build a relationship with all of you. That, we can't necessarily fix everything overnight, but there's always, low lying fruit and things that I think we can work on it. One of the things, and I want to go back to a very important question. I have said to Marcus, said to Naya, could we come up with maybe just priorities? 2 things that we really would want to accomplish together. And, I don't think we have to decide that today, but maybe that's something as your group thinks about, and let's try to think reasonable requests, right? But what does that look like? Is there a policy you think we want to work on together? Is there, something on campus that you think is, an obstacle? I would be really interested in knowing what that might look like. Does that make sense?
Discussion time has expired. I will entertain one final question from Legislator Lunger.
I just wanted to make a comment. I think the midterm grade policy is a wonderful initiative because last semester I was in a course with a harsh grading professor and she gave me C's and D's on all my essays. I got A's on my discussions, but I got C's and D's on my essays and I didn't know where I was standing in the class till the very end. Luckily, I did well, but it was scary. I could imagine it's scary for all students to not know where they're standing till the very end, especially if they're struggling. Midterm grades give students time for academic improvement. They could go to tutoring, they could go to the reading and writing studio. There's several different opportunities available, but students won't take advantage of this if they do not know where they're standing. So I actually think this is wonderful and I support this initiative. I would be interested in joining the e-learning committee if I can. With that, I yield the floor.
Okay, wonderful. And I maybe you could help kind of take some names down of folks that are interested. And if I may just end, I know we're at time, but I really just wanted to thank this group and all of you for all the work that you've done to honor Glenn McIntosh on campus. I thought the visual was very, very touching. And Glenn was a dear, dear friend of mine. And, we really enjoyed going across campus and golf carts and talking to students and really focusing on you belong. And I just want to say that that's something he and I started together. And that's something that I want to continue in his honor is how we think about that everyone feels like they have a place at the table here and that they belong at Oakland University. That was really important to him and it's really important to me. And I mean, all of you did such a phenomenal job honoring him at the visual that I was incredibly proud of all of you. So thank you. Thank you for having me. Appreciate you.
And thank you, Provost Nelson, for coming to our meeting. With that, we'll move on into announcements. Our announcement is about the Grizz Recovery Color Walk, which is presented by Kayla Snell.
Hello? Okay, yes, it's on. Yeah, so I just stopped by Grizz Recovery down 3 hours ago. They wanted to let us know that they're having a color walk. I have a couple posters if you guys wanted to take just a picture or just get the date for that. That will be Saturday, October 11th from noon to 3 p.m. They would love to have students, organizations, get little groups together to come walk around, get colors thrown at you in order to help stand with their students who might be in recovery, and just to have a really good time and encourage sobriety on college campuses. Thank you.
Thank you, Legislator Snell. With that, we'll move into new business. First up in new business is the approval of Keegan Roberts, Director of Student Advocacy. It's presented by Vice President Matthews. Vice President Matthews, you have the floor.
Hi, Hi y'all, so as you know, this is the last director that needs to be hired for USC. Me and Marcus were really excited when Keegan applied because he is exactly what we had in mind when we were thinking about student advocacy and for our administration. He did a really good job in the interview, but enough from me. I'll let him take the floor.
Oh, great. Okay, so my name is Keegan Roberts. It's nice to meet everybody, and I appreciate the opportunity for even being here. The first thing I would like to just start off with is just talking about me and just who I am a little bit. I'm a 22-year-old first semester IT major here at Oakland. I transferred to Oakland in fall of 22. Transferring here, I really didn't see much of an opportunity to like just get involved with people, and I honestly was afraid. And honestly, it honestly encouraged me to act the way I act now and just to move the way I do now when it comes to being involved now. Currently, I am the president of my fraternity and the owner contractor of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. Along with that, I also serve as the membership and scholarship chairman of the NAACP that was just recharged here at Oakland University. With those things, I have gained a lot of like leadership and professionalism that I didn't see in myself when I first got to Oakland. So I've seen a lot of self-improvement within myself, and then that instantly made me want to do more. So when I got here, I looked for opportunities, but I didn't see much. And the very first thing I did was be a part of the community. So it may be funny to a few people, but I honestly came to Oakland and I was like a mini content creator. I would go around asking different things about Oakland, but that was me kind of trying to disguise my fear of being social. And I came from a school where it wasn't very social at all, and I didn't really know anybody to talk to or depend on when I became being a student and just trying to be advocate for it. So when I actually just started to do like this mini content creation, which is really just me surveying the students of Oakland just to see different things about the campus, know where different things are, just find out more about Oakland in general. It kind of led me to having a lot of friends here and just being kind of known in a bunch of different student organizations and things like that. So I'm a part of, like I said, my fraternity, the NAACP and the Association for Black Students so far, and I'm actually trying to do more, and that's what I was talking to Nia about. Some things I have done in my position since being elected into those, I became the president of my fraternity in 2024. I'm on my second year in that, and since then I've thrown a scholarship ball twice, where we actually raised money and donated it to the students of Oakland. It's actually free. It's going to be coming up again. If y'all guys want to apply at all, but it's actually free to any student at Oakland as long as you meet the GPA requirements and actually have a letter of recommendations that we ask for. Anybody can, it's free to apply for that thing. So that's something I'm super passionate about because coming to school and going to an expensive school, not this one specifically. I'm sorry, I went to an expensive school before here. It kind of like pushes me to want to be more involved with the students being able to stay in school. And I think that's kind of the most important part, especially from like where I come from, is that people go to school but don't necessarily finish. And that's something I'm very passionate about is people finishing school. Along with that, since then, I've also done a lot of different coat drives, a lot of different drives in general, coats, toys, different things like that, depending on the season, just depending on like the different things that are in need at the time. So for the winter time, I like to do different coat drives and toy drives so kids can feel like they got something on Christmas or they're just having a good time for Thanksgiving and for Christmas and those good holidays that everyone loves to come together and be a part of. So those something are just some things that I've done since I've been here, and I'm actually like super unfulfilled with my time here at Oakland, and that's just me being brutally honest. So I was in search for more. I'm in search to be involved more. I'm actually in search to do more. So when I seen that this position was open, and I honestly took a shot at it. When I researched the different things that the OU Student Congress has done, it actually kind of like broadened my like horizons on like just the different things that I could do more of or expand upon once I get into the position or if I'm approved into the position. And some of those things are like the menstrual initiative that the OU Student Congress have done. I didn't see them do it this year just yet. I've seen the 2024 and 2023 ones. And that's something I actually think I can bring into what I have going on currently with my experience in collaboration with different student organizations and the different connections I have. I actually think that's something I can take lead on. So I'm very passionate about that and hope to be able to take lead on that. And on top of that, I actually want to create more of a community for students. And this is me like just wanting to get more students known and informed about the student congress, the OU student congress, because me being brutally honest, when I first got to Oakland, I didn't know anything about it. And one of my first things I always love to do when I get knowledge is pass it down. So like something I've been doing since I've been in a position of leadership is just always talking to the younger people who come into Oakland every single year, just trying to encourage them the different ways and teach them the different resources that I had to learn on my own. Maybe because I was less social or whatever the case may be, but I always feel like comfortability is the best type of thing that leads someone to go where they want to go. So if you're not comfortable, it's kind of hard for you to move in the way that you would expect to. So I think that might have been a fake for me, but how I would like to apply this knowledge and information to newer Oakland students or maybe even more transfers like myself, it's just I want them to know that they're here and there's somebody there for them. And a thing I'm passionate about, I don't want to take too much of your time and rap about this, but I actually just want people to feel heard. That's something that I actually very passionate about, and I'm so passionate to the fact that it may become even like a pet peeve to not be heard or just to not be listened to. So I want everybody to feel like they have a voice in their community, and especially going to a school where they pay lots of money to go to, and they may not feel like their opinion matters because it's like they're small and a big thing. And but as I believe Amy just said, she says that we're the reason why this exists. So I just want people to understand that and continue to push for the things that they want to push for if they have things that they want to push for. Because I think there's a lot of silence that's just afraid to be broken. So that's something that I just definitely want different Oakland students of all different ethnicities and heritages just to understand that they have a community here in the Student Congress and they have a voice and they can come speak on the things that they want to come speak on, or they can tell a person that they trust. And that's my spiel. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Any questions for Keegan at this time? I saw Legislator Snell first.
Legislator Snell first.
Okay, Legislator Mays.
I have two questions, but I'm only gonna say one because I feel like someone's gonna ask about it. So you have. I'll say first. I'll say the nice one first. Do you don't have to say if you have any now, any initiatives, that you would be willing to like work on in the future if you were, appointed director of student advocacy for?
Yes, I don't know if you maybe heard me touch over the subject like very briefly. I do want to be like the leader, the head of like the free menstrual initiative, the free menstrual product initiative. I'm sorry, and I actually am very passionate about that and just advocating for the so,
Follow up, director of advocacy works for the Heritage Week as well, right? Were you aware of that, and did you maybe off the top of your head have any initiatives related to Heritage Weeks as well?
On top of, honestly, when Nia told me about the position when we interviewed, that's just what she told me, the different roles and different duties about it. And when she actually asked me a question about that, then I actually told her that I think with my connections and my different abilities to get involved with these student organizations in the ways I plan to, I think I will have effective ways and more like communicative ways, the things to apply things that they would like to see or the things that we didn't think of.
All right, Legislator Snell.
Hi, so just right off the cuff, hi, I'm Kayla, oh, if someone's outside, they can come in, sorry. Sorry about that. Hi, I'm Legislator Snell, I'm kind of handling the Heritage Week stuff right now. Should you be hired today, would you be available Friday to start those meetings and start those discussions, start those planning?
Yes, I think when it comes to me and my scheduling, I'm very flexible. I'm actually able to just I'm available at all times. I actually make the time for things that I actually want to do. So I definitely see this as something I am willing to do.
Awesome. Sorry, I have two more questions for you. Second, are you aware that we've recently created a series of ad hoc committees known as our Voices Committee, representing different branches of campus, including LGBTQIA. I believe we have an SAFB one for racial issues, and one pertaining to disability support issues, and then another one coming up pertaining to issues surrounding women. Would those be groups that you would be looking to work with?
Yes, I actually was gonna ask you a follow-up question, if you don't mind. I wanted to ask, like, what do those groups entail and what do they actually are placed to do? Because I haven't heard of them, but I'm definitely willing to work.
Of course, so our Voices Committee would be students that are not in student congress who can come talk in these committees about the issues that affect them and their communities, as well as just having a chance in order to share like what they would want to see, what could help them. We have some of those guidelines going up today, specifically for our LGBTQIA Action Committee. That is one of the, that was our first Voices Committee, I believe we got started. Then my third question would just be in pertaining to that menstrual product initiative. Myself and legislator Wolf actually have been working on that pretty much single-handedly all summer. Just getting them stocked, keeping the product dispenser stocked, loaded, and just ready to go. So with that said, what would be your plan to make sure that it can be as effective as possible? To make sure no dispenser stays, I suppose, unloaded for longer than like a couple of days max.
I think the first step is, if you two are the only person working on it single-handedly, I think the first step is creating a committee and assigning different roles and delegating different, I don't want to say powers or different duties, but that's essentially what you would be doing, delegating different people to do different things and be assigned to different things to make sure that the processes for these products are staying stocked and they're just actually moving as smoothly as possible. I don't see that, I don't see it as being very attainable for you guys to only be the people like, just working at it and trying to keep it stocked as well as gather the products as well. So I think it's to start off, I think we need a team. And I didn't say this in my little spiel, but I'm willing to be a part of that as well. And I have different actually ways and tactics to actually gain those products and actually keep them stocked too. So.
Vice President Matthews had a point of information.
About your question, legislator Snell, me and Marcus actually have a meeting with VP Mackey tomorrow about ways to reform the initial product initiative. Hopefully, we are looking to institutionalize it by getting the janitorial staff involved in stocking them. So OUSC will not be responsible for stocking them anymore, only buying supplies and making sure that when supplies are depleted, they are restocked within the maintenance of facilities.
All right then, ignore my last question. Thank you so much, Keegan.
Thank you.
Keegan, when you're not talking, you mute the microphone. I think it's giving feedback on this one.
Okay, I got you. It's a record, but
Chairperson Waters.
Hello. I just wanted to ask, first off, I wanted to say I'm very happy to hear a lot of the stuff that you said in your speech. I really appreciate a lot of that. But I wanted to ask just a quick question about, is there like anything that you see like with our our queer community on campus, any ways you could like that your position could assist them? That's it.
I actually, in my position right now that I actually am trying to be in, I think the first thing that I think of when it comes to that community, I feel like and this is me, my first time coming to Oakland and I explored Oakland on my own, did a own tour by myself. I stopped by the office down the hall in the basement area, if you will. And I seen it and I kind of felt like it was kind of dumped off in the corner. I think that's that's the main concern I have for them. And not necessarily being a part of the community, but being a supporter of the community, I actually still want them to feel like they're being heard. And I don't want them to feel like they're actually at a disservice by their office being in the corner, or I don't want them to feel like they're being treated as small. So I think that's the first thing I will think of to do when it comes to supporting the LGBTQ plus community. And I just wanted to just put that up there as well.
Legislator Markowitz.
I apologize. I was just about to lower my hand. My question's been answered. Thank you.
Legislator Wolf.
Point of information, the GSC has since been moved to North Foundation Hall.
What room is it moved in?
Can someone help me?
104J.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Legislator Mays.
Sorry. So I thought thought someone was gonna ask my other question, but they haven't. So you mentioned you also have other commitments. Are you still doing those commitments along with applying for the director of advocacy position? And will there be any conflict? I know you say you can make time for things that are important, but will there be any slight, problems along the way with your time?
I don't have any, well, my time commitments that I have currently, I think I have a lot of openings up for this position, so I can have like the adequate time to make the things that I have to make work for this. I also believe that I'm going to be able to do a lot of cross-referencing when it comes to this thing, so I don't think I'm actually going to be draining myself or anybody else by applying for this position. So, thank you for asking.
Majority Leader Bronner, you're my last question. All right, then, Keegan, I'm gonna ask you to step out of the room so manage your discussion. My discussion time did expire.
I just want to say thank you to everybody for allowing me to be here, and thank you to me for sending me the position.
Oh. No. Yes.
Yes.
We'll now enter 10 minutes of discussion time. My first one discussion, Legislator Snow.
So I personally met Keegan already at the NAACP meeting, the inaugural one. I like the guy. I think he would be an amazing help for not only the Menstrual Product Initiative, but also for Heritage Week. I say this as the person who's been planning and working on those. It's really hard, like exorbitantly so. So if he thinks he can do it, by all means, I say we let him try. With that, I yield the floor.
Legislator Mays.
This was my first time meeting Keegan. Like I like to judge people like on a non-personal level anyway. But from his previous experience, the way he talked about the Menstrual Product Initiative, it kind of surprised me. In a good way. So I feel like he's a very promising candidate for director of student advocacy. And I also feel like we can maybe not easy. I feel like he gives room for us to also collaborate with him and work with him, so we can try to make sure that students needs are met for that. Oh my gosh, but you know what I mean. What that I do.
Chairperson Waters.
Thank you. I just wanted to say that I was very happy to hear a lot of what Keegan had to say. I mean, a lot of that language is stuff I feel that is very good for someone who's going for a student advocacy position to be saying. That I yield.
Legislator Wolf.
I find him to be like he seems incredibly professional and approachable and understanding and personable. And I think that is definitely something the student of advocacy, the director of student advocacy definitely needs to be. And I can only imagine him bringing more positive vibes to the OAC office and helping out everyone, in a very productive manner. I yield the floor.
Legislator Snow.
Yeah, no, honestly, I can't help but agree with Legislator Wolf as well as Legislator Waters that I lost my train of thought, but I still do fully support it. I plan on voting yay for Keegan's approval. He just seems, again, very well equipped to handle it. And again, I cannot emphasize enough the fact that he explicitly mentioned he has so many connections with these boards, especially for the Planning and Heritage Week, trying to organize that. He has experience organizing large groups of people, and when these events have more than, seeing as I literally maxed out all of the lines on Google email, which I didn't even know was possible. to get everyone who needs to be involved in planning these Heritage Weeks or Middle Eastern Heritage Week. I say if someone can handle that large number of people, we really should, like, this is an opportunity we can't let go. So I will be voting yay on it. With that, I yield.
Legislator Wolf.
A motion to move this to a vote.
Motion to move into a vote by legislator Wolf, seconded by multiple people. We will now enter into a roll call vote. Here they say yay, abstain. Majority Leader Brummer.
Yay.
Chairperson Fayette.
Yay.
Chairperson Waters.
Yay.
Legislator Black.
Yay.
Legislator Rosario.
Yay. Legislator Snell.
Yay.
Chairperson Valdez.
Yay.
Parliamentarian Vella.
Yay.
Legislator Jeswicki.
Yay.
Legislator Lunger.
Yay.
Legislator Markowitz.
Yay.
Legislator Mace.
Yay.
Legislator Mason.
Yay.
Legislator Obra.
Yay.
Legislator Prishandaro.
Yay.
Legislator Serbu.
Yay.
Legislator Wiegand. He took point of privilege. Legislator Wolf.
Yay.
Someone grab Kevin from hall. Congratulations, Director Roberts.
Director of Student Advocacy. Moving.
Moving on.
New business, we have the
approval of Clover DeVore for the LGBTQIA+ Action Ad Hoc Committee, presented by Vice President Matthews. Vice President Matthews, you have the floor.
Hi, guys. You know Clover, you know what this committee is. Clover, you know.
I'm going up to the front. I don't trust this microphone.
All right, that microphone sucks. All right, you see LGBTQIA+ Action Ad Hoc Committee. Do you even remember passing that? That was the first bill we passed at the beginning of the summer. What's been going on with that? So if you don't remember, former Chairperson LaBelle was the one that put that up for approval. She was originally going to be the one that was chairing that meeting, or chairing that committee. As she is now with SAFB, I decided I would be the one that takes up that role for her. She also asked me to do it too. But yeah, I joined Student Congress looking forward to doing a little bit of advocacy work, advocating for both my community and the student body as a whole. This is one of the best ways and first ways I've gotten to advocate for my community as a transgender woman. I have already talked a little bit briefly about this with SAGE President Claire Childers, along with the GSA coordinator Blake Alon. I plan on working with SAGE GSA along with our SAGE liaison, legislator Oprah over there. I'm continuing to develop this committee, reaching out to the community as a whole, making sure we're representing the entire broad LGBTQIA+ committee on our campus. As to what that's going to look like, we have the guidelines up next, but I'll save that discussion for when I put that up. But yeah, that's all I got. I'll yield to any questions.
How do we do this? Marcus on the Zoom.
Motion to suspend parliamentarian rules.
Motion to suspend parliamentary rules to allow for Speaker DeVore to speak for herself on her own approval.
Countered, actually. Sorry, it's just, we've set the precedent that when you step down, it just goes to the next person in line, so I think that would be the end. That's
Yes, the next person up.
Yeah, I'm acting president because Marcus isn't here.
It was seconded
That was-
by legislator Surbu and countered by legislator Snell.
Okay, if you can't do it, then I pull back my, or my calendar. I just thought that we
I
had.
believe Marcus has joined virtually.
Oh.
He said he would.
Is he on there?
I don't know.
Is parliamentarian not?
Yeah, I'm on here. Oh Christ.
Here.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. As President Johnson is here, Vice President Matthews can chair the meeting. Now let's do questions.
Sorry.
Who had their hand up? Legislator Mays.
I almost forgot my brain still is going after that speech. Yeah, so I'm gonna say the same question again. I know you have a lot of time commitments. Do you have enough time to schedule yourself to commit to this role?
Yeah, I believe.
Why are these microphones just hate us?
Is any other microphone on?
Yeah, but second.
Are we good now? Okay. Yeah, I do, like you said, I do have quite a few commitments. As speaker, that's kind of a major time commitment. I'm also president of another org. But I do personally believe I still have the time. I have, at least looking at my own personal calendar, I have 2 days out of my week where I kind of just have the entire day to work. Tuesdays, Thursdays, I'm pretty frequently in the office, like the entire day. So I at least personally believe I have more than enough time to work into my schedule along with academics, along with my other works. Yeah, I don't think it's too much of a time commitment.
Legislators now.
Out of curiosity, with the LGBTQIA ad hoc committee, I know that students of color who are also LGBTQIA face very unique circumstances on campus. Do you feel equipped and prepared to hear their concerns, hear the problems they may face, and handle them accordingly?
I do. I am interested to be able to like reach out to like proper community leaders in order to like access some of these people. Because I mean, I'm gonna be completely honest, I haven't talked to too many of them yet. But as I work on continuing to develop this committee, I'll be working with, as I said, Sage President Childers, GSC Coordinator Lalon, in order to properly be able to reach these students, hear out their concerns, and work with them to address any concerns that they have raised.
Legislator Bishondaro.
So what issues is the committee set to focus on in the immediate future?
A lot of them being recent executive actions that affect our local community. Most notably, a lot of recent federal executive orders. I feel personally involved with a lot of them as they have, so many of them have attacked the transgender community. That'll be a majority, like a major one that we'll be focusing on right away. Is focusing on like how do we address federal actions as they are coming up. How do we like hold everyone accountable with that, along with due to the recent passing of Vice President McIntosh, where do we go in terms of the university with like strategic response team and stuff, in order to make sure that like diversity, equity, inclusion is still represented in our university. Those would be like the two major things we start off right away. Expanding on that is something I really want to do. It's something I will work again with the proper people in order to add more action items so that we can properly address everything. Number one on my docket is talking to people though and making sure I'm connected to the community and making sure we're addressing all the concerns that people have.
Legislators now.
I was just wondering, one thing that I've noticed a lot within just the student congress as a whole, we tend to get very caught up in our own circles, and thus we hear a lot of the experiences we share. How do you plan to make sure that you are able to, for lack of a better word, break your own internal community connections in order to reach out to more of the community, such as you mentioned earlier, you're not very well connected to people of color who are also LGBTQIA on campus, disabled people who might also be LGBTQIA on campus, so on and so forth. How do you plan to make sure that you are reaching those people and not just getting caught up in the circle of what you've done.
I plan on using the circle not as a weapon against me, but as a weapon for me. I will use the connections I already have built up. I've already been friends in the past. I lived with Sage President Childers, along with Coordinator Lon. I'd also be working with the Reese Committee Chair Adrian Morales, along with Legislator Lunger with the Disability Support Committee. I'm going to utilize the connections I already have with their connections that they also have to their community in order to properly be able to access their communities that they also represent, and making sure I have access to everybody. So in a roundabout way, as I said, I'm using the connections I already have to make sure that I can properly get connected to the communities that they also are a part of.
Legislators now.
Thank you. Sorry about that. Then just on a very lighthearted question, do you happen to have any events or things planned for the LGBTQIA ad hoc committee? I know especially towards the end of the year, that is when we celebrate our LGBTQIA Celebration Month. Do you plan any initiatives or an event to celebrate that? I see here you're working with Rainbow, or hopefully in the action committee. Have any fun things planned or initiatives you want to see started?
He gave me such a softball, lighthearted question, and my answer just is no, not yet. I have not done, I'm gonna be totally honest, enough prep work yet to be able to plan some of those events yet. But it's more than something I'd be more than interested in doing in the future. Sage and the GSC already put on several events. Tonight, actually, I believe we're skipping it right now, is Transgender Community Night. They have events weekly. I'd be starting out there. I don't have any events yet, but I do plan on doing some in the future.
Point of information, Clover Court. Have you forgotten that you and I are literally trying to schedule a meeting with Ann Rayford to talk about such an event?
I did, that is literally tomorrow. I do apologize. I did forget about that. We are meeting with Ann Rayford to discuss the GHC soft body doll injection event, or injection education event. Legislator Sneller and I are going to go to Ann Rayford and GHC to talk about that tomorrow.
Point of information number 2, we don't actually have that meeting for tomorrow yet. She hasn't given me a call back. And I also will be out of town tomorrow.
Any other questions? All right, lovely, you can come up to me. I can speak to one. Legislators now.
I just want to start off by saying, don't you do it. I'm sorry, it was starting to make the noise. So yeah, I just want to start off by saying I fully support Speaker DeBoer. I think she'd do a pretty good job. As I mentioned, she does a lot, and I admit she does a whole lot for everyone, everywhere. But one thing I can say is she does have a lot of good ideas, and she has a lot of great plans coming up, many of which she seems to have forgotten that she has been planning. But I can assure you, she has a lot of plans in the work. I think she's gonna do a good job. She's already very well connected to the community. As such, I think it would. As such, I think she would be just a really good fit for this position. And so I give her my full support.
Legislator. Chairperson Waters.
Thank you. I just want to echo a lot of what Legislator Snell just said. When I think of someone who is incredibly capable, I think of Speaker DeBoer. She has proven time and time again her ability to do what she seeks to do and do it well. With that, I will 100% support her chairship of the LGBTQIA plus action committee. And with that, I yield. Thank you.
Legislator names.
You guys are probably sick of this, but I also approve Speaker DeBoer for our range of smalls. But yes, I feel like she would do an incredible job. She's very trustworthy. The only concern I feel like she can handle it, but it is, outreaching to not just, like Kayla said earlier, their own circle of LGBTQ, like, friends. I feel like she can handle it though, we're here to help as well, but I would like to see outreach to many of the LGBTQIA communities that aren't talked to on campus as well, so. Let's bring that up, that was all, good idea.
Legislator Black.
One thing I will say regarding outreach is that I know for a fact that there are a multitude of us, myself included, who would not have even been in student congress had Speaker DeVore not reached out to us personally. I know from personal and professional experience that she is extremely open-minded, driven in terms of throwing herself completely into whatever she is working on. I think even simply getting things mixed up in the moment when presenting earlier shows that in some sense. And I wholeheartedly trust her to make those connections and utilize her existing connections exactly, as she said she was going to. With that, I yield.
Legislator Wolf, did you?
I was gonna motion to move to end discussion, but Kayla, Snell obviously has something to say, so that would be imprudent.
Six now.
I also was gonna move to vote, so I mean, if you want, you can make the motion, I'll second, or.
I motion to move to the vote.
Second.
Yes. And with
That, we'll go into a roll call vote. Majority Leader Barnard.
Yay.
Chairperson Kayeka Tace.
Yay.
Chairperson Waters.
Yay.
Legislator Black.
Yeah.
Legislator Mario.
Yay.
Legislator Snell.
Yay.
Chairperson Velez.
Yay.
Parliamentarian Mello.
Yay.
Legislator Driswicki.
Yay.
Legislator Lunger.
Yay.
Legislator Markowitz.
Yay.
Legislator Mays. Legislator Mason.
Yay.
Can you check if that one's?
That one is definitely turned off right now.
You have to move back. It's too close near something. The speaker's right there, so if you move over one seat, you should be good.
Legislator Oprah.
Yay.
Legislator Christian-Darrow.
Yay.
Legislator Sherburne.
Yay.
Legislator Lincoln.
Point of privilege.
Yay. Legislator Wolf.
Yay.
And with that, what?
Words approved. Chair for like the next 2 days. Don't we chair for the next 2 days?
Is Mark still here?
Yeah.
Oh, then yeah, sure. Did I get it first?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Institution here.
Do you want to stay up there for your 2?
Okay.
Oh, probably.
Moving on to our next agenda item, guidelines for the OUSC SAFE Reform Committee, presented by Speaker DeVore.
Alrighty, y'all seen a lot of me today. Okay, this is the first of 3 committees that were started over the summer that I now have guidelines for, as I talked about last week. If you want to scroll down a little bit, I've been working on this with Chairperson Ludwig along with Assistant Chairperson LaBelle for the better part of a month. Trying to make sure these are as good as possible, make sure SAFB and OUC are both properly represented in the committee. Membership is pretty much the same from CB 6804, which this was passed in. The minimum required membership is the Speaker of the Legislature, me, because I chair the committee. The judiciary chair, since they're the person that basically is chief interpreter of both sets of bylaws. And for obvious reasons, the student activities funding board chair. These positions, just throughout the rest of this, are required membership. Just for, I have to type out the 3 positions all over again. It's open to all members of SAP, along with all members of OUSC executive board and legislative branch. There's not an attendance requirement for anybody. However, everybody is encouraged to attend, particularly SAP, because we want all of them to have input. Membership without voting rights is deemed as a non-voting ex officio member. However, they're able to have the same speaking rights as voting membership on the committee. There is no maximum member list. As I said, it's just a public forum of student Congress. If you want to go down with the format, we're not going to adhere to a strict Robert's Rules of Order, except for voting procedure. I just want to go over how I have voting right now. In order to have equal voting power between OUSC and SAP, this is something Chairperson Ludwig brought up to me over the weekend. OUSC is going to designate 6 people to have voting power on the committee. The voters are the student body president, the student body vice president, the speaker of the legislature, the legislative majority leader, the judiciary chair, and the community support chair. Specifically the community support chair, Kayla asked me about that before the meeting. I just have them on there as someone that represents the commuter students on campus. They might have a bit more input on the student orgs and stuff, so I decided they were a good person to have input on that committee. All SAB board members have a right to vote. So SAB board has 6 people, there's 6 people on there. That means it's a 50-50 split. In the event of a tie, so like everybody in OUC is for something and Hallie and everybody on SAB is against something, it fails because there's not really a good way to break a tie. So meetings are just going to consist of discussing specific action items determined prior to the meeting by the required membership. We're going to edit all relevant sets of bylaws to improve the relationship between OUSC and SAP. After edits have been finalized, the membership is going to vote on them to later be presented to the Congress legislature and the SAP board. I forgot what I was going to say. Because I forgot what I was going to say, I'm going to keep continuing with the next part. Meeting schedule is just going to be decided by required membership. We're required to meet once a month. However, we can meet more if we would like to. Scheduled meetings shall be made public at least one week prior in order to make sure that everybody that wants to go can go. I also have guidelines for how to dissolve. It's a unanimous vote, as I say, of SAB. If you keep scrolling down, a 2/3 majority vote of the legislature. And obviously, because it's an ad hoc committee, it just dissolves at the end of the semester, or not semester, legislative term. So whenever we're all out of here, then that's when it expires. The hopeful outcome is to address the many concerns raised during the separation attempt during the Garcia-Brummer administration last year. The relationship as outlined within SAB and OUC bylaws has become outdated. It's led to SAB becoming slowed down by OUC. This committee aims to find a way to reestablish this relationship within the bylaws in a way that retains the benefits of the relationship, addresses the concern of autonomy and efficiency within SAP. So, I now remember, the format, for those that were on that at any point, we decided to format them similar to how Congressional Records Committee meetings are held. If there's anybody here that was on those last year, you would know what I mean. I got nothing else though. If anybody's got any questions, I will yield.
Legislators now.
I was just wondering, did you scroll back up to those supporters? My bad. To the Chairperson Ludwig, that's majority, if not all of SAP at the moment, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay, then, never mind, I don't have a question. I yield.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, that's all of SAP. I worked specifically with Chairperson Ludwig and Assistant Chair LaBelle. However, it was still forwarded over to Director Mullins and Director Bishart in order to have their own vote on the committee.
Legislators now.
I just wanted to highlight that Director Miller had a question.
Advisor Miller.
I would like to know if there's any opportunity for a friendly amendment to include for ex officio, the advisory.
More than open to that. I honestly didn't consider that. would you also think that we should add the OUSC advisor onto that as well? Or I don't know if that's something you're interested in attending.
I would say because the advisor is much more intimate in what's going on with SAFB past and present, that would be a more effective person. Happy to sit in when, happy for the OUSC advisor to sit in when that.
Okay, I'm more than open to that. Motion to fix these damn microphones. Yeah, I'm more than open to that. Thank you, Advisor Miller. I didn't consider that. If you just put it under like point B, the advisor for SAFB shall be considered, I can do it on my phone. After I can do it after the meeting, just before it gets officially passed, but for the record, it says on there in imaginary point 3, the advisor to the Student Activities Funding Board shall be an ex officio non-voting member of the committee.
Legislator Mark Woods.
Yeah, I just had a quick question on the 2/3 vote portion of it. Because to me it sounded, now I'll be honest, this is not something that I'm particularly passionate about since I'm not that involved with any sort of controversy between OUSC and SAFB. But if the whole argument is like, oh, OUSC has just been like taking advantage of SAFB this entire time, and then all we need is a 2/3 vote to just do away with this committee. It seems a little counterproductive that I feel like if it was truly in SAFB's best interest, then it would more so be at their discretion that like when they feel like all the changes have been implemented that need to be implemented, that then like it's their vote that decides to close the committee. But if someone wants to make a friendly amendment to that, or if you want to respond to that, I just figured I'd throw it out there as an idea.
So that was originally passed in CB 6804, which did create this committee. I had also on there the unanimous approval of the SAFB board, because I did want to make sure it was an agreement between both sides to end the committee. It was when both sides deemed it necessary that like either, oh yippee, we finished and we have a good conclusion, we're all happy, or boo, we need to separate because everybody hates each other and yeah. So I kind of just put it there. I put both sides on there. I honestly wanted to make it like as hard as possible to dissolve before, because I wanted to make sure it was like everybody agreed it needed to go, whenever we wanted to go to dissolve it. So that's why I have on there that it's a unanimous approval of the SAB board along with a 2/3 majority vote of the legislature. I have it. You need both rather than one or the other.
Person Ludwig?
I wanted to put it as a teacher at the moment and say that.
Director Mullins?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Well, let's extend
Well,
discussion
okay.
to 5 minutes.
Motion has been approved.
So my question is regarding the ratio of OUSC to SAFB members when it comes to voting rights. Obviously, SAFB can have 6 members, but at the moment we only have 4. So the designation is 6 OUSC compared to 4 SAFB. So my question is, with that difference, how do you plan to keep the vote fair between both of us?
It's a kind of a tough until there is. I honestly don't know Chairperson Ludwig's timeline on hiring the rest of the board. It's a little bit tough situation until the rest of the board is hired. I would honestly just be willing to yield my vote along with somebody else being willing to yield their vote, just so it's 4 and 4 until that, whatever happens. If Chairperson Ludwig has a point though, I will yield to her.
I do intend on hiring 2 people before the first approval.
Any other questions or further discussions about this? Alright.
Order, can I be marked as present voting for this meeting?
Yes. Were the friendly amendments made, though?
The one by Advisor Miller was, yes.
Okay.
I can look it up.
Alrighty, speaker to order.
Yay.
Wait,
We can't vote on this.
it's a resolution or guidelines, I think.
Guidelines can be passed in one meeting.
Yes. Speaker to order.
Yay.
Majority Leader Brummer.
Yay.
Chairperson Fayette.
Yay.
Chairperson Waters.
Yay.
Legislator Black.
Yeah.
Legislator Rosario.
Yay.
Legislator Snell.
Yay.
Chairperson Valdez.
Yay.
Parliamentarian Bella.
Yay.
Legislator Zwicky.
Yay.
Legislator Lunger.
Yay.
Legislator Markowitz.
Yay.
Legislator Mays.
She got the point of privilege.
Legislator Mason.
Yay.
Legislator Obra.
Yay.
Legislator, okay. Legislator Prishandaro.
Yay.
Legislator Serbu.
Yay.
Legislator Wiegand.
We took a point of personal privilege.
Lovely. Legislator Wolf.
Yay.
All right, and with that, the guidelines have passed. President Johnson did take a point of privilege, so do you want to continue chairing? Speaker to order.
Yeah, but I'll just
Stay up here because I have two things I still have to present.
Lovely.
Next up on new business is the guidelines for the Racial Equity and Cultural Empowerment Committee. This is presented by Speaker DeVore. Speaker DeVore, you have the floor. Oh, thank you, Madam Chair. To make that joke again. All right, this is one that just got added about 20 minutes before the meeting started because it got swapped in for something else. It was supposed to go up a couple weeks ago, but it's whatever. You want to scroll up to the top. This is Racial Equity Cultural Empowerment Committee. This is one that I worked on with the chair of the committee, Adrian Jimenez Morales. I'm just presenting it on his behalf. So membership is basically as said in the bill that created this. I forget what number it was, but no minimum or maximum membership requirement. It have open seats for all of the following organizations. It's the International Students and Scholars Office, Center for Multicultural Initiatives, Native American Student Organization, or Native American Student Organization, OU, African Student Union, Association of Black Students, NAACP-OU, HALO, Indian Student Association, and any and all other relevant cultural and advocacy-based organizations. There's too many to list, but those were ones that Adrian deemed important to put on there. And then also includes any and all students passionate about advocacy
advocacy and awareness for the many different diasporas and ethnic groups represented by Oakland University. Format of the committee meetings. An agenda is going to look similar to that. Introductions, an open floor session. So members of the committee are going to present issues and action items to the chair that they wish the committee to work on that or future meetings. So it's just open floor. They get to discuss stuff that they will be focusing on working on later. Action items on there is what the chair decides to be worked on specifically at that meeting. So there'll be specific action items raised during the open floor sessions to be worked on and discussed by the committee. Any action items worked on during committee sessions will be forwarded to the Student Congress so that the action item can be passed and forwarded to relevant administration. That way, it's not just a committee that's a roundabout just talking to each other. It's making it so we can actually take action on the things that they do. And then that'll be the whole meeting. Meeting schedule is just about what was in the SAP 1 second ago. It's a minimum once a month. It may meet more often if Adrian decides. It's going to take about 1 hour usually for a meeting, but there's no set limit for meeting times. And membership's gonna be notified at least 1 week prior to the meeting, just to allow for proper notice, make sure everybody can attend. Guidelines to dissolve, it's a simple majority vote of the committee membership and a simple majority vote of the student congress legislature. And again, it's gonna dissolve at the end of the legislative term. In the hopeful outcome, it's to take action and advocate for the different diasporas and ethnic groups on campus, and for the student body to have an open forum for them to voice themselves regarding those communities. As said, I worked on this with Adrian Jimenez Morales to make sure that he had input as much as possible in the creation of this committee. So I have nothing else. Anybody has any questions?
Legislator Snell.
Would you just be open to the friendly amendment of with how closely you worked with Chairperson Morales? Would you be open to a friendly amendment of adding him as a co-sponsor to the bill?
I honestly just think for parliamentary procedure, not parliamentary, but he's not part of student congress, so I don't know if I can file him as a co-sponsor. I have him on there as a supporter, just to emphasize that he's the one that helped me make them. But since he's not in student congress, I think it's a little bit of a gray area. I'm not sure if I can actually have him on there as a co-sponsor or not. It's kind of a dumb, up in the air thing, but I choose the easy way out, just not fighting it.
Sounds good, thank you.
Any other questions for Speaker DeVore this time? Seeing none, we'll move into a voice vote. Roll call vote, my bad. Majority Leader Barr. Chairperson Fayette.
Yay.
Chairperson Waters.
Yay.
Legislator Black.
Yay.
Legislator Rosario.
Yay.
Legislator Snell.
Yay.
Chairperson Valdez.
Yay.
Parliamentarian Bella. Legislator Jeswicki.
Yay.
Legislator Lunger.
Yay.
Legislator Markowitz.
Yay.
Legislator Mays.
Do you take a point of personal privilege?
Legislator Mason.
Yay.
Legislator Obra.
Yay.
Legislator Brishendaro.
Yay.
Legislator Serbu.
Yay.
Legislator Wolf.
Yay. That's legislator Wiegand.
Can I be a yay?
Parliamentarian Bell is marked as yay. And with that, the guidelines for the Reese Committee have passed. Next up is the guidelines for the LGBTQIA Action Committee. This is presented by Speaker DeVore. Speaker DeVore, you have the floor. I'm not gonna make my joke again. All right, so I was just up here. You guys just approved me as chair. So thank you all for that approval. So these are basically formatted the exact same way as the Reese Committee meetings. So once again, there's no minimum or maximum membership requirement. It's gonna have open seats for all of the following organizations: so the Center for Multicultural Initiatives again, Sage at OU, Rainbow, the Gender and Sexuality Center, and any and all other relevant LGBTQIA plus organizations. Any and all students passionate about advocacy and awareness for the LGBTQIA plus community, represented by Oakland University, also have membership in this committee. Scroll down to format. This is literally the exact same from the Reese Committee that was just passed, so I'm not going to read through it all over again. Yeah, can you scroll down again? Yeah, okay. We also have the meeting schedule. This is also exactly how the Reese Committee was again, so I'm not going to read through it again. Same with the dissolution of the committee. This is also exactly how the Reese Committee is. But the hopeful outcome for this committee is it aims to take action to educate for the LGBTQI plus community at large at Oakland University, and to protect the rights of the community, advocate for any issues affecting the community, and to provide support to the campus community at large. As many state and federal actions have had a very adverse effect on the LGBTQI plus community, this committee aims to address these actions and provide support for the communities affected. With that, I will yield to questions. Legislator Obra.
I am pretty sure Rainbow is no longer a student organization here at OU.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Would you, I guess.
If they no longer exist, I will take the friendly amendment to remove them off the list. I think that's news to me, honestly. I just went on the OSI student orgs list and I just picked ones out that seemed great. Advisor Miller.
That the student board list that you're looking at for the winter semester, after October 10th, we will have it updated.
Correct. Any other questions? Seeing none, we'll enter into a roll call vote. Oh.
Sorry, I had just a quick question. It says that meetings are estimated to take an hour. Is that just every meeting will always be an hour, or?
If you read the rest of the sentence, it's estimated to take 1 hour. However, there's no set limit for meeting time. So if it goes beyond that, if it goes shorter than that, it's totally fine.
Oh.
It's just on average when like scheduling meetings, just advertise it. It's usually about an hour.
Oh.
So enter a roll call vote still. Majority Leader Brummer.
Yay.
Chairperson Fayette.
Yay.
Chairperson Waters.
Yay.
Legislator Black.
Yay.
Legislator Rosario.
Yay.
Legislator Snell.
Yay.
Chairperson Valdez.
Yay.
Parliamentarian Bella.
Yay.
Legislator Jeswicki.
Yay.
Legislator Lunker.
Yay.
Legislator Markowitz.
Yay.
Legislator Mason.
Yay.
That's legislator Mason.
Legislator Obra.
Yay.
Legislator Prashandaro.
Yay.
Legislator Sherwood.
Yay.
Legislator Wiegand. And Legislator Wolf.
Yay.
All right, with that, the guidelines have passed. Because these mics are dumb, I'm going to do this the old-fashioned way and walk around with the microphone. Next on the agenda is CR 6813. This is presented by Legislator Snell. Legislator Snell, you have the floor.
Just take like a step back.
Sorry. Okay, can everyone hear me on that? Swag. So this is CR 6813. It may look a bit familiar to any legislators who were here during term 66. I felt it was prudent to bring it back due to the celebration of all our ad hoc committees pretty much being done. It is a resolution to reaffirm our commitment to representation of all students. Another thing you might notice just right up at the top, one of the co-sponsors listed is Ethan Lane Pace. As we're all aware, he is no longer a legislator with us. However, I do not feel comfortable not having his name somewhere on this bill since he is the one who wrote it. If you don't, it's going on. As I said, this is quite literally just copy and paste word for word. Whereas Oakland University prides itself on being a diverse and inclusive campus, the purpose of the OUSC is to pursue initiatives for the betterment of student life. OUSC is dedicated to addressing all students concerned by acting as a voice for the student body. Whereas hereby enacted, OUSC pledges to take all student concerns seriously, regardless of personal beliefs, foster an environment that is open and inclusive to all students of all backgrounds and beliefs, including but not limited to race, ethnicity, gender, nationality, sexual orientation, religion, spiritual belief, disability, class, standing, age, socioeconomic status, and political beliefs. We commit to working alongside and supporting student organizations and groups, both formal and informal, in order to meet the shared goal of the betterment of campus and student life. And we vow to respect and represent all identities, welcoming them to OUSC regardless of the aforementioned qualities and characteristics. As I mentioned, this is just a repeat. I brought it back because I felt it was a good way to sort of cap off our ad hocs. So yeah, any questions, feel free to ask.
Any questions for Legislator Snell at this time? Seeing none, we will enter a roll call vote. Majority Leader Brummer,
Yay.
Chairperson Fayette,
Yay.
Chairperson Waters,
Yay.
Legislator Black.
Yay.
Legislator Rosario,
Yay.
Legislator Snell,
Yay.
Chairperson Valdez,
Yay.
Parliamentarian Vella,
Yay.
Legislator Jeswicki. Legislator Lunger,
Yay.
Legislator Markowitz. Legislator Mason,
Yay.
Legislator Obra,
Yay.
Legislator Prishendara.
Yay.
Legislator Serbu,
Yay.
Legislator Wolf.
Yeah.
All right, and with that, CR 6813 has passed. Moving on to the agenda, we have CR 6814. This is presented by Legislator Snell. Legislator Snell, you have the floor.
So Michael sadly cannot be here. However, we have worked together quite closely on this, and this has been his pride and joy. So I'm very pleased to present this on his behalf. Just first off the bat, you might notice looking at the supporters that Grizz Recovery Collegiate Recovery Program is listed as a supporter of this resolution. They are actually, if you aren't unaware of what they do, their work focuses and centers around being a space for students who maintain sobriety on campus, whether they are in addiction, as well as helping support them through addiction recovery. As I mentioned them earlier, they do the color walk. They also just have a space down in Vandenberg Hall. You can come on in. Went down earlier today. I met Teddy, one of the dogs that goes in there. He's very friendly. And yeah, they're just a really important group on campus that helps. They're part of the steps that work with medical amnesty. Continuing on to the whereas. Whereas the state of Michigan passed the 2012 Medical Amnesty Law, Public Act 125, 2012, to protect inebriated minors, aka those under the age of 21, from state persecution if they sought emergency services for themselves or others, example, for alcohol poisoning. Without the risk of facing state persecution, inebriated students can feel more comfortable calling emergency services while under the influence of alcohol. However, this legislation only achieves its desired outcome, i.e. encouraging intoxicated minors to call emergency services when needed, if students know about it. In 2025, the Student Congress survey of the student body, 56.5% of respondents stated that they have never heard of medical amnesty. As such, Legislator Michael Maku wants it to be resolved that Student Congress reaffirms its pledge to work alongside university housing to protect medical amnesty awareness, to promote medical amnesty awareness, as well as for Student Congress to pledge to use social media and flyers to teach students about medical amnesty protections.
Are there any questions at this time for Legislator Snell? I'll start with Chairperson Waters.
Yeah, thank you. First off, I think this is a great initiative. I'm very happy to see this. My question is one I think a lot of people here are gonna have is that, can you add me as a supporter? Thank you.
I do not have editing access. I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
If OUSC does, no, I will text Michael.
Thank you.
I can promise a text message.
If anybody would like to be added as a supporter, please text Legislator Snell or Legislator Maku directly. Vice President Matthews.
As the ones who are gonna be probably doing, like, I think marketing would probably be doing most of like the actual marketing for this. Have you talked to our marketing director about this?
We have not yet talked to our marketing director. At the time of writing this, we did not have a marketing director. However, I'm on the marketing committee. Bill will be talking to her. We already started working on a couple of materials. Well, I've started working on a couple of materials already, so I'll just send them her way as well. The other half of that is I know we have reached out to the Grizz Recovery. They also have been wanting to work on this, so we wanted to make sure we kept that line of communication open. We have their marketing director's contact as well, and I'll be sure to connect the two.
Are there any questions for legislator Snell at this time? Seeing none, we'll move into a roll call vote. Majority Leader Brummer?
Yay.
Chairperson Bayetete?
Yay.
Chairperson Waters?
Yay.
Legislator Black?
Yay.
Legislator Rosario?
Yay.
Legislator Snell?
Yay.
Chairperson Valdez?
Yay.
Parliamentarian Bella?
Yay.
Legislator Jeswicki? Legislator Lunger?
Yay.
Legislator Markowitz?
Yay.
Legislator Mason?
Yay.
Legislator Obra?
Yay.
Legislator Christian Darrow?
Yay.
Legislator Serbu?
Yay.
Legislator Wiegand?
He took a point of personal privilege.
Legislator Wolf?
Yay.
All right, with that, CR 6814 is passed. Moving on to new business is CR 6815. This is once again presented by Legislator Snell. Legislator Snell, you have the floor.
Hello. Again, Legislator Moffitt sadly is unable to make it tonight to present this, so I will be presenting it on his behalf. First off, again, I just want to draw your attention to the fact that Grizz Recovery, Collegiate Recovery Program, as established, has signed on as a supporter to this. The other thing I want to note is that he has asked us to not vote on it tonight, instead to just read it, so that way we all have a chance to send him any questions, any concerns we may have. He also has a couple of supporters that he wants to wait on before he passes it. With that said, this is a resolution advocating for the expansion of medical amnesty protection to support intoxicated students who fear punishment as a result of calling emergency services. Whereas the perceived risk of punishment associated with drug use can deter intoxicated students from calling emergency services. If this perceived risk of punishment were alleviated, more students would feel comfortable calling emergency services while under the influence of a regulated substance. The state law of Michigan made progress on this front with the passage of the 2012 Medical Amnesty Law, Public Act 125 of 2012, which protects inebriated minors under the age of 21 from state prosecution if they sought emergency services for themselves or others, for example, for alcohol poisoning. Although Oakland University students are protected from state prosecution in many circumstances, the university can still punish intoxicated students who sought help from those or others. Although the policies section of the housing handbook discusses alcohol and drug policies, there is no mention of medical amnesty. While the medical amnesty provision of the Student Code of Conduct mentions medical amnesty as a legal concept, it states that Oakland University maintains the discretion to refer the individual to appropriate educational interventions. Without a guarantee in either of these documents that intoxicated students who have called emergency services will not be punished by the university, students will be hesitant to call emergency services for fear of punitive punishment by the university. Let it hereby be resolved by the members of the legislature and the executive board of the Oakland University Student Congress for the betterment of campus and student life. For starters, Student Congress wishes to praise Oakland University administration for past collaboration with OUSC regarding the medical amnesty, and Student Congress is ready to work with the administration again on this topic to support student welfare. Second, Student Congress encourages university housing to state explicitly in the policy section of the housing handbook that students have medical amnesty from punishment by the state and university. These protections should include the assurance that students in the hypothetical scenarios above would not be evicted from residence halls. The student encourages the dean of students to state explicitly in the student code of conduct that students have medical amnesty protections from university punishment. These protections should include the assurance that students in the hypothetical scenarios above would not be punished academically.
Are there any questions for legislator Snell at this time?
Oh.
Advisor Miller?
Before you, this is just first reading.
Yes, this is just a reading.
I would just request that maybe the sponsors of this have a meeting with the dean of students to make sure that what the university policy is, maybe more than how you're interpreting it, and therefore that you're both on the same page in terms of the amnesty.
I will be sure to pass the recommendation along to legislator Malcolm and on setting up that.
Legislator Black?
I guess this is more of a point of information. I have no questions about the resolution. I just had a comment about it. Is there going to be a discussion period? But I'll save that for.
This is the discussion period. There will
Okay.
also be a second one at the second reading in which he has requested this be voted on.
I will say that in my experience as a resident in university housing, from what I've seen, information about medical amnesty among housing staff is piecemeal and spotty and could definitely stand to be clarified in the way that this resolution is advocating for. I was told in my first floor meeting as a student living on campus that medical amnesty only applied to federal and state law, and I believe my RA explicitly cited expulsion as a potential punishment that could still be carried out even in cases where medical amnesty applied. And I think misunderstandings like that are dangerous to students who maybe fear expulsion more than anything else, or the academic side of things, or the legal side of things, or whatever it may be. So just getting the word out that this is the policy, even, arguing that it should be more broadly applied, I think is something that would help a lot of people. With that, I yield.
Yes, that very statement is actually what inspired legislator Malcolm and myself to work towards this. That also is why we explicitly wrote CR 6814 in order to just spread awareness to that. However, I also would like to call to our housing liaison and a RA in our midst, however, Rosario, if you don't mind expanding a bit on that housing policies from an RA perspective in regards to medical amnesty.
This one's sick. It's so bad. I'll turn it.
Perfect. Just as a piece of information, I was the other RA that said that during the floor meeting, not me.
This was last year.
Okay. You are protected from legal prosecution if you call emergency services in the case of a drug overdose, for example. But it is true that you are still, I don't want to say, let me phrase this carefully, open to action by the university, whether it just be take this class on safe usage of substances, or in the more extreme cases, expulsion. But besides that, the information, to my knowledge, listed in this document is accurate. And I would definitely encourage meeting with the dean of students, just in case anything is not accurate to my information. But based on everything I know, it is accurate. I'm happy to answer any more questions if you have any.
Thank you. Thank you, legislator Rosario, for your support and your answer to that question. Any other questions or comments?
Seeing none, we will be moving on. All right, we'll be moving on into discussion. In discussion, we have haunted hallways. This is presented by Chairperson Waters. Chairperson Waters, you have the floor.
Do you want me to use that?
No, yeah, use
microphone,
this one.
guys? Cause I'm not using that. I don't trust. I know. Oh, there we go. Okay, so, Haunted Hallways is coming up on the 30th of October. So it's about a month, actually exactly a month. So we have to get the things that we will need for that, for OUSC to decorate our office for the event, very soon, like preferably like in a few days. So I wanted to come up here and show what I will, with also meeting with the special events coordinator from SPP, Cameron Atkins. So I purchased, I will be purchasing, if this, unless anyone has anything else they'd like to add or any comments, some spider webs, fake roaches, bloody gauze tablecloth, a crime scene kit, that like all the prices are up there. Lights that are both orange and purple, and just purple lights. Scroll down a little more. A fake skeleton that is the size of a person. I want to put that on a chair. And some fake bats. Is there any other comments you have on this? Or anything you want to add? Because I have $500 I can spend and I can give you more.
Starting with legislator Snell.
I just wanted to say, are you like heart set on the roaches? Because I just cleaned around 40 or 50 fake spiders, and I would love to see those used, so I did not waste our clock strips on nothing.
So what my plan was to have to use the spiders. That's why the spiders aren't on there, because I know we have a bunch of those all over the place. There's probably a few still laying around the office somewhere that we have from last time. My plan was to have the spiders and the roaches as well, so they would be in tandem with each other. Are there any other questions?
Chairperson Ludwig.
I would like to point out that SAFB does have a 5-foot skeleton. We also have a little skeleton dog. It's very cute. I'm not sure if you guys looked through the storage. I know there's a skeleton. I know SAFB, we have our animatronic bear that I can't wait to put out. I do believe we might have extra spider webs if they didn't get ruined when we were taking them down, but they might have been ruined. And I just want to make sure that you looked through all of the stuff to make sure that we didn't already have it. And I also wanted to mention that SAFB is going to be buying a bunch of dum-dums and like chocolate candies in the coming days.
So I'll be completely frank and honest. This ended up moving a lot faster than I thought it did, considering that I thought it was going to. I thought it would have like another week to figure out a lot of this. I had like 3 hours. So I was not able to get into storage. I know we have, I was unaware of the skeleton that you guys had. So we might want to.
We also have bats.
You also have bats? Okay, then we could probably strike the last 2 from there if you guys already have that, because I mean, I don't really think we need 2 skeletons in the office. So yeah, I'm cool with striking that, both of those if you all are. But yeah, other than that, yeah, I mean, that's about it.
As a point of order, Vice President Matthews, can you start a 10-minute timer? I forgot to start one for discussion time. Legislator Rosario.
Is there any chance we get like one of those silly mirrors as well for the office, and some cheap like the vampire capes for the e-board?
For the e-board? The us?
Yeah, I would be very much interested in that. I can look into with the silly little silly mirrors. And maybe getting little capes for those who are working the event. Because this is also a volunteer event. We will need people to volunteer, help set up, be the like scare actors, and help tear down.
Legislator Sherbu. Thank you. So I'm not necessarily pro or against this, but all I'm saying is Home Depot does have a 12-foot skeleton for $300. That's about it, actually. So thank you.
Point of information, the office is not 12 feet tall.
You can crouch.
If we just get that, we actually would have a budget for that. Unfortunately, I feel like we would have to make some accommodations to the office to get it to fit. With that, next question? I know, my bad.
Vice President Matthews.
I would just like to add about the vampire team is that I am not going to wear the vampire team, and I know Marcus will not wear vampire team. So you should ask the executive board how they feel about vampire team before you voluntarily, add it to the list.
Chairperson Ludwig.
This is not part of my question, but I would wear a vampire team. But I was wondering if there is a theme that both us and SPV are doing, because I know that our rooms are connected, so we might want to share a common theme. And I was wondering, is there?
Chairperson Waters.
Thank you. Yes, there is. I talked with Cameron Atkins, who is the student SPV's special events coordinator, and the theme that we're going for is like a haunted forest into a haunted cave. That's the play.
Okay.
So the plan, at least for that, is that SPV is more the forest, we're the cave.
We have a working mic, it's all good, Clover.
Okay, Legislator Snell.
Thank you. Legislator Mays, who sadly took a point of personal privilege, has been very excited for this. So first off, please make sure you touch base with her. She has been very eagerly telling me about the time she was and I quote, little demon baby crawling on the floor. Second, how can students spell? If I volunteer to set up, do I have to scare others?
I will start with the first bit. Legislator Mays being the, how'd you say it?
This is her words, not mine. I want to emphasize that. Quote, little demon baby who crawled on the floor and scared people last year.
That was Gio, wasn't it?
No, it was
the Joker. Oh.
Yeah.
Asia was little demon baby.
That worked really well, and I absolutely loved it. Now, to answer your question, no. If you want to set up, you can just set up. You don't have to scare anyone, and then you can come back to set down. Or if not, you can just leave. You can do whatever works for you.
Third question, Legislator Mays was just wondering how she can sign up to do that again. She's very excited. She really, really wants to.
We will have a forum coming up probably pretty soon, right? Yeah, a sign up sheet, probably in the same place we have the tabling set? Yeah. So where you sign up for tabling, we'll have a thing for haunted hallways, we'll have chefs, it'll be pretty cool.
She also has asked you just to text her about it. She's so hyped for this.
I will.
Thank you.
Chairperson Ludwig.
I know we talked about this briefly. Are we planning on doing a pseudo setup to make sure that all the big things are in the right spaces and fit in the right spaces now that our office has a new layout? And if so, how early can I put the bear? If that's a discussion for today.
I'm showing them already.
All right, so I do want to do a mock setup at some point before, so we have I listed the big items, so we have an idea of where they're gonna go and if they would fit. I think that's a very good idea. Second, in regards to the bear, I personally feel like I don't have the ability to say when you can put it up. However, my personal opinion, if I did have that ability, is I'd be fine with it the second it turns to October. But I don't have the authority to make that decision.
Discussion time has ended. If anybody has any more points of discussion regarding setup for haunted hallways, working for haunted hallways or any of that, please direct them to Chairperson Waters or Chairperson Ludwig. Moving on the agenda, we have legislative updates. First up is Speaker of the Legislature, Clover DeBoer. Thank you, Madam Chair. There, I had to make the joke one more time. I forgot to write mine this morning. I just completely forgot, my bad. Let's see, what have I done the past week? We started doing tabling and stuff in opposition for the data center. I was out with Legislator Black, along with Director Losecki, along with Legislator Snell for a brief amount. Outside, we didn't get a whole lot of foot traffic, but Director Losecki did set up a Google form so we can start getting student feedback for the initiative we're pursuing. We're going to continue doing that more in the future. We also have a handout in the works that Director Demond, along with a very long list of people, have been working on putting together. Second, I started finalizing some setup stuff for Meet the Reps. A lot of the stuff was starting to get ordered, except for the fact that Director Jung and I had a little bit of an issue with Acme this morning, but it should be handled now, hopefully. I don't know. All that stuff did get ordered. I did give one final reminder in the Slack, and this will be my literal final reminder. I will not remind you one more time. If you want to be at Meet the Reps, please fill out that when to meet now. I will send it out one more time after this meeting. After that, if you are not available, then forever hold your peace. But I would like as many people available. For that, I will start sending out like a form to get shifts and stuff for that setup, along with, as Chairperson Waters requested, a form to sign up for shifts for haunted hallways. I'll work with him on that later in the week. Later in the week, as previously mentioned in this meeting, legislators, well, it's not going to be tomorrow now, but Legislator Snell and I were planning on meeting with Ann Rayford and the Graham Health Center regarding the soft body doll injection education event, because a little bit of a tough roadblock that popped up was when Legislator Snell talked to Ann Rayford about it. We got told it was too political, so we wanted to, no?
Well, that was what happened, however, we wanted to confirm that's what she meant, because
Yeah.
the other half of it was we just stopped her at a pop-up.
Yeah, we kind of did stop her and kind of jump her a little bit at tabling unrelated to that. So we're gonna go planning having a meeting with her just to discuss it further, get more details for that event to her, along with just working out some of the stuff. I'm forgetting something. I should have wrote this down. I am so sorry. I met with Professor Raja, I think that's how you say her name. She's an environmental sciences professor. She's also with KSOU, along with the Native American Advisory Council. I met with her a little bit briefly to discuss like how KSOU and Native American Advisory Council is feeling about the data center and stuff, just kind of getting admin and faculty vibe of the whole thing. There's quite a lot of faculty, including the Native American Advisory Council specifically, that are very, very upset with the issue. We're going to continue to work with her along with those two orgs in the future in opposition to this. Later this week, I plan on meeting with Legislator Lunger to set up the Disability Support Committee that was passed last week. So those guidelines should be brought up here soon. Other than that, I think, I sat through a judiciary meeting. It was pretty productive, although with how the judiciary committee is looking right now, there's not a whole lot of people on there. So hopefully that will be resolved in the future. But other than that, I got no updates. I will yield to the legislative leadership if they have any. Chairperson Waters.
Thank you. It's on, okay, good. I just have a few updates. Most of them are stuff that we talked about with haunted hallways, which I have been working on. I also have had a meeting with my committee just to inform and get feedback on a few events that I have planned, including haunted hallways, but also a event. So we did an event, I think last February. I think it was in February, where the community support committee, along with it was part of Meet the Reps, but we gave out goods that might be like useful in a winter situation for your car. So stuff like blankets, window scrapers, stuff like that. And I think that's a great thing. So I started getting work on that done. With that, I yield.
Are there any other updates related to legislative leadership at this time?
I got one. I'll be in the office tomorrow. This is when we'll finally be getting the parliamentary committee together. So I'll have the list of everybody that's interested. We're gonna see if we can find a meeting time. And I'm also gonna be working on some of the parliamentary guidelines. So that's about it.
Okay, thank you, Parliamentarian Villa. Any other updates related to legislative leadership? Seeing none, are there any updates related to legislative projects or initiatives? Legislator Snow?
Do you mind scrolling down? I have a couple.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah, I was busy. Hi. First up, I just wanted to recognize that we had two previous legislators stop by the office on, I believe it was Sunday, Amir and Joseph. Yes, they had a lot to say. By and large, hello? Okay. By and large, they, and I quote, "We're quite proud of the work that we have achieved and just wanted to pass along the message to the legislator that, quote, they are eager to watch what we are up to and proud of how far we as an organization have come. It gave them hope that we have been so accomplished so quickly to keep up the good work and to feel free to reach out to them in the future with any update, news, or ideas." They explicitly wanted me to recognize Legislator Markowitz, if you're still on call. They said that, quote, "They're so incredibly proud and you need to be far more proud of yourself for all the work that you have done." I'll admit Amir got a bit emotional talking about some of the stuff that you have done, and he is just so incredibly proud of how far you've come. He and Joseph both. So I hope everyone can give themselves a very large round of applause just for that. Yes, thank you. Right on. With that said, in terms of cultural heritage weeks, I will be very happy to announce, first off, we have the president of the Iraqi American Union and the Saudi Arabian Student Union on Friday. That will be probably one of the last meetings I conduct before I pass it off to our new director of student advocacy, Kevin. Also coming up in the future is a bill on where I followed up with the NAC because Native American History Month is starting. They asked us to provide lemonade, water, and cookies to the Native American Business Panel. Again, that will be the last thing I work on in terms of Heritage Week before I pass it off to student director of advocacy. So yeah, have fun with that. I'll be sure to send you everything over in terms of that. Other than that, I'm still working on the Women's Ad Hoc Committee. I'll be honest, I've not started. I forbore. I do a lot. So that's coming up at some point before December. So until it gets done, that's gonna still be there. I'm also doing the Meet the Rep slides. Those still are going. Please fill out my form. I know it's buried. Just text me. I'll send it to you if you want to do it. I can finally, hopefully, after tomorrow's meeting, I will actually be able to get rid of that working on establishing the Google form and labeling all the keys for the period product dispensers. I think I've gotten about half of them labeled. Legislator Wolf, if you want to correct me if I'm wrong, I did. I know you sort of took over that initiative a bit. Oh, with that I yield.
Okay, okay, I'm sorry. I'm a little bit, sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Hold on.
The keys to the period product dispensers, are they all labeled or not?
No, point of information is that all the keys are belong to the same dispensers. All the dispensers around campus except for the Oakland Center. The Oakland Center is currently being serviced by the Oakland Center's own staff, and therefore we don't have keys to the Oakland dispenser, the OC dispensers. So all the keys are probably labeled. And any keys that don't work for the dispensers around campus are probably got erroneously mixed in.
Okay, because over the summer, I know that was something I struggled with because I grabbed the keys and they just wouldn't all work every dispenser, really each building had different set. Must have been just user error, I guess.
Yes, but so also the keys can be very finicky. They can be hard to insert, especially as they've been repeatedly used.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that won't be a problem soon.
Yeah.
Hopefully, fingers crossed, tomorrow will go like well.
Majority Leader Roberts, you still have a point.
No, all good.
Are there any other updates related to legislative projects and initiatives at this time?
Yes, do you want me to use that one, or can I just go with this until it fails on me? Okay, hello everyone, under the direction of and the recommendation with Chairperson Fayette, I have spent the last week or so in a piecemeal fashion when I've had time here and there studying the OUSC bylaws, Appendix 1 in particular. I've been sort of going through in chronological order, doing close readings when I can, and as Chairperson Fayette can attest, had Legislator Bushandaro and SAFB Co-Chair Liddell not left the room, they could also attest I've been asking questions, engaging with them as critically as I can, just trying to get the lay of the land, so to speak, and just have a better sense for the organization that I'm operating in. I've been able to pick up on a lot through context clues as a new legislator, but to see it in the document itself, I think is something that I really needed to do. Especially now that I've been working in a closer capacity with the judiciary chair in OUSC. And yeah, just to make sure that I'm as informed as I can be, that I'm following the procedure as closely as I can. It's been going well, and it's something that I intend to continue doing for the foreseeable future. That I yield.
Are there any other updates related to legislative projects and initiatives? Seeing none, are there any questions related to legislative reports? Also seeing none, are there any liaisons that would like to present a report at this time?
Yes, PCO needs a new treasurer because legislator Marcoux left. If anyone's interested in the position, let me know. And I reach out to some students outside of OUSC to see if they're interested. That would be wonderful if we could have a full PCO board. And Beaver Fest is going to be on October 30th. And there's also going to be PCO nature hikes and events coming up this fall. So if anyone's interested, reach out to me or Javier Rosario, who is the PCO president. With that, I yield the floor.
Are there any other liaison reports this time? Legislator Maku?
Yeah, just note that I'm not leaving until mid-December. So the position will be open in a few months.
Thank you for letting me know, Legislator Marcoux. That's wonderful.
Thank you both. Are there any other liaison reports this time? Legislator Lunger. Or sorry, Legislator Schnell. Oh my goodness.
What I felt that Clover. I'm not a liaison. I just want to make it known. It's just I happened to get this legislative update right now. Fun fact: when I said that the last 2 heritage months I was working on was Indigenous and Middle Eastern, I lied. I'm a liar. We're doing an ofrenda with Halo in the library. I will be writing a bill. They want to buy false monarch butterflies to run up on that. I will be writing a bill to acquire that present. Thank you. So coming soon.
be aware.
All right, any other liaison reports? Seeing none, we'll move on into executive reports. First up is Student Body Vice President, Nia Matthews.
Well, I'll also speak on behalf of President Johnson. He sent me some updates that he wanted to tell you. So Sunday was VP Mac's funeral. Marcus did an excellent job speaking, and he wanted to say thank you for anyone who came out to the funeral. And tomorrow, again, I said this already, but we do have a meeting with VP Mackey to talk about the menstrual product initiative, and I'm sure the data center will come up as it has in many other discussions. Can I be appointed to speak on behalf of you? Thank you. So I do have my own updates. I've been kind of doing one-on-ones. I'm sorry I did miss yours, but I will be making that up soon. But I have been starting one-to-ones and they've been going really well. Tomorrow I also have a meeting with the library to see if they're interested in a possible donation from OUSC. And if so, I'll be writing it, Marcus will have to put it up, but I'll be writing a bill about that. And also last week we did have a meeting with both Amy Baines-Barcelli and then Amy Thompson. So Amy Thompson just really updated Marcus on the council that she wants to put together. I think that was the only thing that was like really new that is imperative. And if you're interested, there's no maximum number, but we are looking for about 25 people. And so far, we've had only 3 confirmed. I mean, it was just started Saturday, so it's like not that big of a deal. But if you do want to join, please let Marcus know or Matt Seidel, because he's also going to be part of chairing that council. Also, as far as Amy Baines-Marcelli, she is starting an ad hoc committee to do a DEI resolution that was not passed last year in Senate. We're going to be structuring it a bit differently. So the way we're going to go about it is doing a memorial resolution to honor VP Max and his values. And so with that, we're going to talk about very heavily about his commitment to DEI and how he started all the offices, the really like all the specialized offices here on campus. And we're looking to put students' memoirs and like quotes or anything like that in an appendix within that resolution. So Amy will be reaching out to us to start that ad hoc committee very soon. And as well as we are going to be getting a quote for iClickers finally. Marcus had decided to go ahead and purchasing our own iClickers so we can do iClicker voting during general body meetings. And so once the quote has already been made, we just need to be sent the quote. And yeah. And just a reminder, not a reminder, what kind of reminder? So if you're gonna have like, texting and stuff on the OUC laptops, not laptops, like computers down there, make sure that, you're keeping it A, work appropriate, and B, you're exiting out of it, so people can't like read it. Just a friendly reminder. And also, make sure you guys just do your due diligence and your research, because we've been asked several times about the resolution. And me and Marcus want to remind everyone that we do not have enough information about it specifically yet. And we can be cautiously opposed to it. However, we just want to remind you guys that, do your due diligence and your research about this data center, not about data centers that are happening elsewhere. And that's it for me.
Are there any updates related to executive board projects and initiatives at this time? Director Demond?
All right, guys, really quick. Trail walk tomorrow, 6 to 7, meet at parking lot 37. Be right when the sun sets, which will be nice and pretty in the bioreserve. I'm meeting with Chris Reed on Thursday to discuss where to install the rain barrels, as well as the beaver tails with Chartwells for Beaver Fest. excited for that. And then next week, Thursday, planning to screen the Lorax, the movie, in the Habitat from 7 to 9 with succulents to paint. You can paint in little pots and take them home. And that's it for me. I get the floor.
Vice President Matthews?
And just a reminder that VP Mackey is coming next week to speak on the desk.
All right. Are there any other updates related to executive board projects and initiatives? Seeing none, are there any questions related to, any questions related to executive reports? I saw legislator stuff first. Okay, Majority Leader Plummer.
I just wanted to ask about the decision to purchase the eye clickers, because this was something we had considered last year, and when we had looked into it in regards to quotes, it was somewhere between $1,000 and $2,000 for enough eye clickers for the entire legislature. So I'm just curious if you intend to try them out at a GBM before making such a big financial decision regarding that.
So we were able to get a quote through the provost office. I gave us a great discount, so they're only gonna be $800. And if that's including the base, and that comes with 40 eye clickers, as well as, they're willing to waive the subscription fee for using the software as well.
Legislator Snow?
First off, hi, what is an eye clicker?
So an eye clicker is just, it's basically a tool to use during voting. It has like different types of, it has different buttons that allow you to click A, B, C, or D, and then you can program what A means, what B means, and so on.
Okay, so like, I guess my second question, I have more than a few, I'm sorry, oh, sorry about that. Are we gonna have to be responsible for remembering to carry that to and from meetings, like?
No, that would be a
perhaps?
part of the bucket, so you know how like we put all the legislative plates and flags in a bucket, they'll be part of that.
All right, awesome. Third question, this one's to Director Demond. What do you mean by beaver tails with chart walls for that event? I might just be taking this too literal, but that sounds very counterintuitive to what we're trying to do.
Yeah, they're like, I believe they're like some like cookies in the shapes of beaver tails. It was like a big thing last year, so just excited about it. Yes.
I actually like the elephant ear pastries that you get at the carnivals. I remember that and they went fast. We didn't have enough, so there was like a shortage. So I'm thinking maybe we should order more this year.
Thank you, Legislator Lunger. Chairperson Waters.
Thank you. I just wanted to ask a quick question about the eye clickers for us all. Will we have our own, like, I know that they'll be in the box and we will have to be responsible for carrying them. But will we be assigned individual clickers or will we be able to click, like take any of them out? I asked this because I would like to know if there would still be a way for our votes to be, like, us to know what the students to know how we voted on things. And if we have just a clicker that, take any random clicker, that might be a little difficult.
So we can program the eye clicker, so each legislator can be assigned a number, and you'll be responsible for taking that number and putting it back.
Right, thank you.
Legislator Snell. Okay, Legislator Over.
Yeah, I just had a question about how the eye clickers would work along with people like online who are voting.
So with online voting, the software does allow online voting as well, so they won't be using a physical eye clicker, but it does have that capabilities to use online voting.
Oh, awesome, thank you. This is somewhat tangentially related. I know Veteran Support Services has been struggling to get students who need eye clickers and can't afford them. Would that be I know that you're going through the provost office. Would that be an outlet we can recommend to them in order to help them sort of get it? I know that's something that they had on their sort of wish list for things with their textbook exchange program.
Well, depending on how many they need, we would be, because in a classroom set, there's 40. And so we might be willing to lend a couple, depending on how many they need, but if they need like their own actual set, that would be something we would have to discuss with the provost and assistant provost. I cannot speak on their behalf.
Okay, I'm not quite sure how many they would need, I just know when I went to talk to them, either a couple weeks or last week, time has started blurring together. That was just something they requested with their textbooks, having technology available for their students, such as cameras, things of that nature.
And I do know that as far as the subscription goes, that fee will not be able to be waived, because the only reason why we were able to get it waived is because we're doing it for governance and not for classroom use.
Are there any other questions related to executive reports at this time? Seeing none, I'll move on to Advisor Miller.
My gift to you this week is no report.
Seeing no report from Advisor Miller, we'll move on into comments from the gallery. Are there any comments from the gallery at this time? Seeing none, we'll move on into announcements. Are there any announcements at this time? Also seeing none, I'll adjourn this meeting at 7:54 p.m.
Night.
Have a good night, folks.
That was fast.
It's fine.